to see their faces and the roof behind them.
Correct.
So
The
that
roof,
thing goes
a
down.
weight comes through the roof, which is supposed to be a dinosaur head. I imagine there's a beat or two right, and then the ixnay of the Amscray,
Yes.
and then this car goes flying.
Ready and action. Action, we'll do the push and the hand up. Once the dinosaur lands right here, he's on top of the guy, right? So it's like, boom, right in our face.
These really incredible and wonderfully talented people who are the best in the business have created dinosaurs that look better than anything you have ever seen in your life.
These dinosaurs have personality and life, and we created real characters with them. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than what we did. It's spectacular.
The dinosaurs just look a lot more realistic than they ever had been before. What that adds up to for the audience is they're just a heck of a lot scarier.
Ready and action. Crash!
It all starts on the set. It all starts with how the dinosaur is going to fit in the scene and even how the actors are reacting to it. They have to know just where to look. They have to know what degree of fear they're supposed to be. So we do what we can to make that part of it the best it possibly can be, so we've got the best material to work with.
All these tennis balls are tracking markers for us so that when the dinosaur comes through, we can track the ground plane and get it correctly so that when she steps, it looks like she's actually making contact with the ground.
All the way over and action. Wait for it, Eric. And now, move.
It's become an art form. Actors reacting to something that's not there and convincing us that it is there.
So you want to imagine it's where my fist is.
Yeah.
And you guys want to focus right here.
Colin, he tells me what dinosaurs are there. When they say action, I just believe that there's a dinosaur right there. I'll be terrified, you know?
You have to rely on people to be able to use their imagination. And head turn. To turn away, chin forward.
What's been so great while doing this movie is that Colin has kept us all in the loop as to what we're seeing. They have built these heads of the dinosaurs that they bring to set.
We named her Darcy. This is Darcy.
That are certainly not life-size, but they're pretty scary to look at and extremely detailed.
You got to sort of reverse engineer every moment. So we start on here, pretty big wide. And so there were a couple of things that the guys at ILM invented just for this movie. They created this app where you could hold up an iPad and shoot it at your frame, and the dinosaur would be there.
We can put our dinosaur model into it, and we can actually visualize, how big it is. We can do things like rotate it, move it around in the environment. We can add some lighting, things like that.
They also show us the computer graphics, rudimentary computer graphics of what the sequence is going to look like, so we can see for ourselves, what is happening at any given moment and where we are in the context of that.
For the action sequences, we were sticking very closely to the previs.
Okay, here we go. Roll, please, rolling.
What if we make like a little circle here with like pink string or something that everybody stays out of that circle?
We're not going to live happily ever after with the dinosaurs. 3, 2, 1, go. That's not going to happen. So you know that there's going to be some kind of interaction with dinosaurs.
Just run straight there and be like screaming. Ah! And then it's going to yank.
ILM's going to go, no, he's going to be over there. We're going to move him this way, and then he's going to hit you here. And so definitely a collaboration with them.
Go!
And that's a little bit of the hard part because, you're interacting with something that's not there.
A little dizzy, though.
Yeah, you'll be all right. So a lot of the stuff we did was trying to recreate of how a body would fly if it got hit by a dinosaur and all those aspects that nobody really knows and just kind of trying to create it.
Hey everybody, my name is Colin. I'm the director of this movie. I just want to let you know you are really running from dinosaurs right now. This is actually happening. So if you were ever really afraid of anything, this is real. Believe it, you're not acting. Find that fear.
For the Pteranodon attack, we had days where we had, hundreds of people out on the main street, screaming, yelling.
It's gonna get really crazy in a minute, really crazy.
On those same days, we actually had 20 to 30 stunt people that were dressed up like the other tourists, and we had them do some pretty specific actions for things that we thought we would want to hit later. There are moments that kind of blend into the overall mayhem that was created out on set.
So, Bird.
What was so much fun was you could take cues off of what all of the people were doing. Some people, if they would even put their hand up like they were flicking something away, they would be a candidate for potentially having a Dimorphodon on their back.
It was actually a pretty good handshake between both doing practical stunts and also the visual effects.
When the camera is here and it's moving this way, but don't just stand there, you little boom. But British.
Zara's death is a big kind of moment in the Pteranodon attack sequence. A lot of very complicated beats and a lot of complicated visual effects beats as well.
I'm about to die in like a very cool way. They're gonna pull me up on that crane, straight up in the air. There's like 8 people around me. It's so that I don't really die, because that's a possibility. My mom would be upset.
Bigger Mark.
She runs on into camera. She has no wires on her. The camera moves around the boys and sees their reactions to what's going on. And by the time we circle back around the boys, the stunt crew has come in, hooked the wires onto her harness, so that as we come around and land, you can press the button and fling her out of frame.
All of the stuff you see with her is actually her doing those stunts, and we're adding the dinosaurs around her and interacting with her. It's a pretty amazing piece of stunt work. Actors generally don't do as aggressive stunts, and she was really game to do whatever it took.
You can see in the movie there's no face replacement. That's all her.
Then we got her into a tank and actually tied her up, and they were yanking her up and down out of the water.
I've been pulled on a harness, dropped from a crane. I've been dropped in the water. I've been held underwater. I've been pulled out of the water, dropped in the water again, held out of the water, and then finally eaten by a giant water dinosaur.
I just think it's the most epic Jurassic Park death I could possibly imagine.
During this Pteranodon fight on Main Street in front of those hundreds of extras,
Hey camera, take 2.
I'm fighting an imaginary Dimorphodon. Halfway through, they say, pause. Marty, one of our stuntmen, runs over, jumps on top of me and starts going, ah, like this as I'm choking him. So now I'm fighting Marty, so I'm scared because Marty's giving me this scary look.
What was really nice about that dinosaur is because it's a human size, we could replace that person afterwards with our CG Dimorph.
Reference dinosaurs, reference raptors, guys that'll be wearing these gray suits and this raptor heads. That will help me as an actor. It'll also help the animators in terms of having a reference, a real eye line, something real and physical that you can look at and react to.
You're gonna be working together, so it'd be like wolves or trained dogs that are all moving up to a point and looking around trying to find their prey. Anything that's a little bit more bird-like is helpful. So instead of doing a head turn like that, if it's
There's one direction, just don't look silly. You weigh reality and drama, just kind of intuiting these really fantastic creatures that probably had a certain level of intelligence and imbuing them with a personality.
And action! Oh shit! Easy boy!
It's different than just working to a mark for an eye line. You're actually working with the raptor, so you know where their eyes are and you know their movements, and seemingly just like a raptor.
A lot of actresses won't even do their off-camera stuff. Bryce not only does all of hers, she does all of the dinosaurs off-camera as well. When Owen has his moment with Blue, this is what he's seeing right there.
The actors with those raptor helmets, they have to be able to get into the mindset of how a raptor moves and the predatory qualities that give the actors visual cues to make them even scarier.
Okay. All right, good.
The animators back at Industrial Light and Magic are going to try and make them feel like real animals. That's really, really important to Colin on this film.
Cut. Right.
Come on. Open top, fire in the hole, one shot.
And action.
Go, Chris.
Cut.
One of the things that's missing when we finish here in a couple of weeks is we have all these great scenes, but there are no dinosaurs in them.
You're looking at its eye. Its whole mouth is right here, and its eye is right here, and it's...
And so that becomes a job that is assigned to ILM. We turn over a whole sequence to ILM, and Colin designs these sequences and what the dinosaurs are doing in each one of them. And now, as things go on, we're going to be seeing our dinosaurs come to life.
I'm thinking kind of lifts her up, and that claws the leg.
Claws the legs.
The Ankylosaur's butt goes up in there and then slams down.
The real stars of the movie are the dinosaurs, so your visual effects house, ILM in this case, is one of your closest partners.
ILM can render things at a level that is completely photoreal at this point. They had Dennis Muir in there, and he was able to come in and actually push them to not let the dinosaurs look like they did in the previous movies.
We're trying to be knowledgeable of the history of Jurassic, but then trying to make this movie new and amazing because, you know, technology has moved on and it's very different now. The camera moves will be different. The dinosaurs are going to act differently. We're using motion capture. In some cases, we have full muscle and skeletal structures underneath our dinosaurs. When you see them walk, you're going to see muscles flexing. You're going to see more skin detail than ever before. We're doing close-up shots that would never have been attempted before. We're doing close-ups of eyeballs, we're doing close-ups of mouths. We have, you know, drool dripping. There's just more aggressive shots than you would have really done in the past.
The Indominus Rex is our new animal that we created for the film and was going to take us through this adventure. The thing that I really like is how deep that goes and how hard these lines, how hard the eyebrow ridge line is. The properties of the Indominus Rex came from the needs of the story and ways that we would be able to make its genetic makeup the key turn of the narrative. What we did is make sure that everything that it can do is an attribute of some other animal in the animal kingdom. And so if you're going to have it camouflage, make sure it has cuttlefish genes or something that can camouflage that's in it.
How do we make something look menacing? How do we make her look really menacing? The teeth would always be exposed, like a crocodile. We pulled the chin out a little bit more, which gave it kind of that underbite, which really adds to that feeling of menace.
And then the other thing was sort of like the shape of the eye, the size of the eye, the color of the eye. It's based off of a goshawk, which is like a North American bird of prey. So there's all these things that we were doing, taking from the natural world.
The raptors certainly aren't entirely friendly. At the beginning, middle, or the end of this movie, they're still dangerous predators. We certainly didn't want to defang them in any way.
You don't scare me.
We just wanted to take this relationship that had been evolving over all three pictures to the next level.
They're a character in this film. They're not just these killing machines that you see every so often. They actually have a pretty big role in this film. We have a lot of close-ups with them, and they have to actually emote. And so we actually did quite a bit of motion capture on the raptors.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Up.
Hey!
It was a new kind of interesting thing for us to do because they're not human at all, and we're motion capturing humans to be raptors.
Oh!
In our initial test, it actually gave us some really interesting and neat behaviors that oftentimes are hard to kind of keyframe that you get out of motion capture. Another one of our new dinosaurs was the Mosasaurus, and Colin really wanted something in water because that would set it apart from all the other dinosaurs we've seen. We really haven't seen one in the water.
Okay, folks, let's see if she's still hungry after already eating today.
I showed you this image of the Mosasaurus coming out of the water and eating a shark. And I kind of realized in the moment, oh God, he's eating a shark. Is Steven gonna think that I'm making some kind of statement about Jaws here? And I wasn't, and you were on board with it.
We did some initial studies of how it would come out of the water. Well, if you look at a humpback whale, it weighs, 50 or 60 tons, but it's very easily able to breach and come completely out of the water and splash back down. So it's not impossible for an animal that size to be able to do what we're seeing the mosasaur can do.
And then as that's happening, they kind of go like this. I turn into an audience member when I see these shots come in. It not only looks spectacular, but it's so intense to watch these animals in the same space as these actors. And I forget what we shot, and it feels like we just shot this dinosaur. Action, go! It's extraordinary, and that's a place where I just sit back and, become a fan immediately.